Greetings and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about torque wrenches. Yeah, once again I was all ready to give you my own personal tool recommendations when an internet sales deal came along that's so good that I need to talk about that instead. This time the product is a Craftsman half-inch drive 250 foot-pound digital electronic torque wrench for only $70. That's a $230 discount over the list price of $300. I was skeptical when I saw that, so the first thing I did was search the same tool on Amazon, and this is what I found. The Amazon price is still $90 more than the price direct from Sears. And if you're interested, I also checked it on Lowe's, and at the time I made this video, the price at Lowe's was $200. I'll put a link for the Sears direct price in the description below. But while you're there, make sure you look around for the other tools on sale. There are some really good deals available right now. So how good a deal is this? So good that I bought one, and I don't even like electronic torque wrenches. But for this price, you just can't go wrong. Shipping took a week, and I can't exactly say it was well packed. It really wasn't packed at all, it was just thrown in a box. But I did receive it in good condition. There were no marks or damage of any kind, and I'm absolutely convinced that this is a brand new wrench right off the assembly line and not some reissued repaired item sold at a discount. Here's the receipt that shows the total price, even with shipping and tax, was still just a little over $80. And this is the two-sided page of instructions that came with the wrench. The last item in the box is a calibration certificate indicating its percent of error and the date it was tested. And this is going to lead me into a discussion of something I said earlier, that I don't even like digital torque wrenches, and I don't particularly like any of the click-type micrometer wrenches either. My go-to wrench is a beam type, and I use one whenever I can. But that's the key phrase, whenever I can. Sometimes I can't. And in the cases where I cannot use a beam wrench, one of these digital types, like the one I just bought from Craftsman, is absolutely essential for the job. So let me grab a beam type torque wrench from my toolbox and I'll explain my logic. So what's the advantage of a wrench like this? Simplicity, reliability, low cost. Now it's actually three advantages, but it's all because of the same thing. That there are almost no moving parts. The only actual mechanical moving part is this handle, and that particular part can't go out of calibration. The calibration of a wrench like this is dependent upon the flexibility of this steel beam, and it won't change over the life of the wrench. What can change is the needle can get bent, but you just bend it back to zero again. As you operate a wrench like this, it looks like the needle is moving, but in fact what's happening is the beam bends under the applied torque, and you see that as an indication of the pointer against this scale. Now it does require technique. You do have to be able to rock this handle freely while you're operating the wrench, meaning it needs to float. You don't have it cocked one side or the other. It has to be freely moving as you're applying final torque. The other technique required is that you be able to look straight down on the wrench. You can't use this wrench if it's facing away from you, and that is its main disadvantage. If I have to apply torque to a fitting or a bolt or some device that is in an awkward location, I just can't use one of these. But if I'm building an engine, for instance, I'm assembling an aircraft engine or a car engine or even a racing engine, these are great because an operation like that is done on a workbench. And in fact, all over the country and probably all over the world, there are mechanics and technicians using wrenches just like this to assemble aircraft engines and race car engines because they are so reliable. So buy one of these, keep it in your toolbox, and if it ever does get rusted or damaged beyond repair, simply from abuse or misuse, you just buy another one because they're that easy to replace. This is my number one choice, and I would always have one of these in my toolbox, and it would be the first choice I would make when selecting a torque wrench. In closing, let me just reiterate that just because a tool is more complex, and in the case of a torque wrench, it will click, or it has a digital readout, or it makes little beeping noises when it reaches torque, doesn't make it better. It in fact might make it more unreliable, but it will be more convenient. If you have a repetitive job where you have to torque many things in a row, a digital or a click type torque wrench can save you a lot of time. That is why I have one of each. I have a beam type. I've always had a micrometer click type, and now I have one of these electronic digital wrenches too. And it's funny, now that I have one of these beeping wrenches, it's been making me think. I wonder why they haven't bothered to put voice chips in these things. I mean, if they wanted to, they could make the wrench moan as you were approaching torque, gasp when you got there, and tell you how good you are when you're done. Think about it.